for our second race of the evening. This is the Tier 1 boys for Motive Racing's GTE Championship Round 3, and I am joined in the commentary box tonight by my good friend Ian, otherwise known as Emo Guy. How are you?
Doing fantastically, still working myself down from the previous race in Tier 2, but otherwise I'm doing fantastically. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing not too bad. Also, it's should be a good evening of racing tonight. We've got a lot of fast guys out here on the track, and we saw some good racing in Tier 2, which you were actually a part of. I saw you running in 5th for a while during the race. Unfortunately, a couple of spins later on put pay to your chances of finishing in a very high points paying position. But just tell us, what kind of tyre wear can we be expecting from these guys out on track in this race?
Well, these guys have got a well-known reputation of being able to push it, as hard as hard as these cars can possibly go.
Mm.
And with this track having tight corners, great opportunities to overtake, it's going to be quite a daunting task for the tyres to stay warm and stay durable and during this race on this track.
Yeah, definitely. It's a complete opposite from what you would expect in the daytime. Obviously, being in the desert, Dubai gets absolutely boiling hot during the day, but this time of night it really does start to cool off. But it's still a tricky type of track on the tyres, very twisty, plenty of tight turns for these guys to negotiate. Currently, we're riding on with the only G, who's sat in 6th place at the moment, 2.3 seconds off the pace. It's quite a long way off the pace for him. We usually see him much closer to the sharp end. It is one of those tracks where you see a lot of guys struggle. Guys who would usually be running at the front. It's a bogey track for a lot of drivers. It really does seem to set people apart. But currently we're seeing Archer setting the pace at the top of the leaderboard on a 1 minute 52.5. Looks like he's brought it into the pits, so he seems very confident that he won't be pipped in this session. We've got JR sat second at the moment, provisionally on the front row. My Dad Peanut in 3rd place. Some of you will not know or recognise the driver in P3, My Dad Peanut. That is actually RDJ. RDJ124. He's changed his PlayStation tag to My Dad Peanut just for, I believe, this race, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a permanent fixture for him. Obviously, ALTEL nicknamed Peanut by his fellow drivers, and RDJ appears to be dedicating his name to his spiritual father, ALTEL here. So that's an interesting one.
I've just been talking to someone down in the radar room, and it looks like we may have a few.
Apparently so. Sprint race is that the rain.
I believe so, yeah.
Ooh, that could get very, very tasty. It's
Yeah.
especially around here in this part of the world, it's not usually a common sight. We saw a few years ago in, I think it was WEC, was it? There was rain affected Dubai 24-hour race, but it's not something you see every day here in the Middle East. But it'd be interesting to say the least if we do see puddles start to form in certain parts of the track. Obviously, that final sector with the elevation changes could become extremely tricky indeed. So a lot of these guys will maybe have not tested in the rain. It's not exactly the type of track where it rains very often, as we've said, so it could be extremely challenging tonight in this one, as we see.
Yeah.
Sorry mate.
Definitely, yeah, it's good. From what I've seen, the light rain will strike us at roughly about 9 PM, just in time for the sprint race to begin.
Yeah, hopefully it will be a wet start. Otherwise, it's going to be a tricky decision for these guys as to whether to stay on the slicks or the dries. So hopefully the rain comes down before we actually get underway and saves us the panic or the decision in this particular instance. Riding on board currently with Bruce AFC, who's sat in 4th place at the moment in this session. He's 1.1 seconds off of the pace being set. Archer setting a blistering pace out the front. Pole time in Tier 2 was a 1:54 dead. That was from Bowie, and 5 of these guys out qualifying him. So our race winner from Tier 2, Bowie, would be sat in 7th place if he was in this session, as we see.
I'd say that roughly, yeah.
7th place, yeah. So mid pack, that's not bad at all. When you consider that Bowie doesn't race GTEs all that often. We just got a
That was
comment.
his first race. That was his first race this season for the GTEs.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty remarkable that he's managed to get up to speed that quickly. We're just having a comment, emo guy, from Ali Gar saying, emo not here. I'm not sure if your voice is being broadcast. Let me just check do an audio check. Make sure, because doesn't... Do an audio check. Make sure, because doesn't... Just having a comment, emo guy, from Ali Gar saying,
First race this season.
I know you are. Yep, you're on. It should be alright. That's weird.
Well, I think that might just be an issue on your end, I'm not too sure, but Ali is actually one of my fellow Outcast Guardians that I play alongside on Destiny 2.
Okay, so Destiny, I never actually played the game Destiny, obviously. I know when it came out a couple of years ago there was a big hype around it. Never really got into it, but no, it's cool to see that you got a few guys here supporting you, and obviously Ali was actually getting behind you a lot in that tier 2 race. Emo guy, he was bigging you up, he was constant support coming in, so he was really wanting you to do well, and especially when you were getting involved in the battles. I think it was it J Palm you were battling with, or was it no, it was
Gypsy George.
Yeah, Gypsy George.
Yeah, we both had a good few spins, but then we kept it together for most of the race.
Yeah, it was some good fighting there between you guys. 13 people watching us live here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us live for this. Bob Smith says, loving the echoing commentary. Hold up, really? Bob Smith says, loving the echoing commentary. Doesn't sound like too echoey to me. Really?
Yeah, it sounds the same for me, John.
So.
Yeah, it was some good fighting there. Yeah, it was some good fighting there between you guys. 13 people watching us live here on YouTube.
Gypsy George?
Yeah, Gypsy George.
That is a little bit. Let me just turn my volume slightly down, and we can hopefully get this one sorted out. Sorry for you guys for the momentary breakup that you're experiencing. Blue screen, that will be subsiding in a few moments time. So we got... Let's turn that volume down a little bit.
Yeah, we also have King Bennett in the chat as well. Unfortunately, he cannot join us tonight as he has to do some studying for school that he has to go back to next week. I believe it's next week anyway.
Yeah, big shame he couldn't join us. One of the quickest guys on the grid, still racing with us in the LMP2s on Saturday night, so it's good that he's going to be staying with us. Just see Bruce coming over the line there in 5th place, so it looks like that's going to be that for the session, unless maybe my dad Peanut can put himself up into the lead. Here he comes out of the last turn now, currently sat 4th place. My dad Peanut in the Porsche comes over the line and he can't improve, so it looks like that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Archil there setting such a blistering time in qualifying, 0.8 of a second clear of JR in 2nd place. Lorna Lou in the comment section saying good luck JR. Obviously Lorna, they're a big fan of JR, and good to see that JR is sat on the front row at the moment. We've got Dalavan in 3rd position with my dad Peter in 4th. That's that, and we are about to go racing here. Bob Smith saying no full grid this week. We're supposed to have a full grid, Bob, but unfortunately it looks like we've had a disconnection at the 11th hour of this qualifying session. Unfortunately, Harris dropping out with moments to go, which is incredibly unfortunate. Unfortunately, that is part and parcel of racing, and Harris will not be joining us for the sprint race, but hopefully he will be able to get that connection sorted out and join us for the feature.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate. Unfortunately, it's just one of those kind of things we've got to deal with. I had a few last season. I had a few disconnections with the GT5s, and it's just something we've got to deal with. Pick yourself up and just try and win those points back in the next few races.
Absolutely, that's the only thing you can do. Guys watching us on the stream, thank you very much for joining us. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video, and if you want to see more of it, then hit that bell so you can be notified every time we go live here on the Motive Racing channel. Join us on our Discord server. The link will be in the live comment section by the time the sprint race starts in 2 minutes time. We're going to continue and get going for this one. I'm just going to quickly do a quick Facebook post. Emo, you'll still be live on the stream though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be. I'm definitely going to be going for JR as he has been doing. He's the league coordinator for the GT3s. He's been doing such a spectacular job with it all, and really do feel like he's deserves a win tonight. I really do. And here we go. We're just getting just the races are just getting their cars sorted out, figuring out exactly how much fuel they have to put in for them to last the race. Just getting general things set up and hope for a good race for everybody tonight. And just as the forecast did predict, we do have a light rain here in Dubai tonight for the sprint race of the Tier 1 GTE race. This is definitely going to make things a little bit more interesting than what it would be for people in the dry.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're almost about to get going racing here for this
Here
one.
we go.
These guys are going to be revving their cars up to the absolute limits, and light rain, as you say, and the guys can be very tricky off the line. Hopefully, they all get away well. Archer on the right, JR on the left, Dalavan and My Dad Peanut behind him, and it's a terrible start from My Dad Peanut. Gets instantly out accelerated. He saw a big crash in the background there. Archer and JR get away completely, and there's a massive pile up here on the first lap. Looks like lots and lots of cars involved. And somebody there just got too excited there on the accelerator and ended up spinning the car off the line. Very unfortunate to see. Looks like we've got Richie avoiding that accident, and possibly Ayatel looks like he was involved. My Dad Peanuts, Grandad Steve, Smithy and Bruce AFC all caught up in that accident. So that is a terrible, terrible first lap incident there, Emo Guy.
Oh yeah, it's just people getting a little bit too, throttle happy, just completely booting it right off the line, and you can't do that in this rain, or else you see what just happened. That's what's going to happen every single time.
Absolutely, you can't afford to be that aggressive off the start line, and it's left Archer here with the lead by 1.3 seconds. He managed to avoid that all, and Dalavan looks like he got away with it also. Maybe Falguest sneaked through as well, sat in 4th place, and looks like Dalavan's looking to the inside of JR coming down the back straight. Can he make the move up the inside? He's going to have a look, but it looks like he's a little bit too far back to go for the move. JR closes the door, and looks like Archer was not running too far ahead into this one, but Dalavan now coming under pressure from Falguest, and he looks to the outside. Falguest looked like he was a little bit too far back in the background. We'll see. Look, yeah, he has to back out of that one. Dalavan holding on to P3 for the time being. What a start to this race. In the meantime, it looks like the battle for P7 and 8 is looking very, very heated. John Boy and Ugbar very close on the track. 6 tenths of a second separating those guys. Ugbar looks like he wants to get back ahead of him after a tricky start to this one.
It's definitely an interesting one. Just even when you're in the dry, it's so easy to just mess up everything, and we saw that tonight. Just like John Boy's just done there. I've done that many times during my race. I've spun it, and it's
oh
just
no, synchronized spinning. Granite Steve doing the same thing. Sorry, Ian.
like I was saying, it was just even in the dry. If you even hug one of those corners a little bit too tightly, you're going to spin, and it's just not going to end well at all.
No, it never does. John Boy looks like he's got it going once again. Granite Steve also likewise, but that's going to hamper them massively. You can see at the end of the first lap, it's Archer actually leading by just under 2 seconds. Well, we're almost halfway through the first sector, and JR goes a little bit wide there, coming through the S's, and now Dalavan's going to be pulling right onto the back of him. So it's Dalavan hoping to get on with this one. It looks like he might be being compromised a little bit behind JR, but JR deserves to be where he is. Obviously qualified on the front row, 8 tenths behind our pole sitter, Archil. So it's just a case of Dalavan sticking with it and waiting patiently. In the wet conditions, the mistakes will come. As long as you're consistent and keep to the task, the guy in front will usually crack under pressure, as are the situation in wet conditions. But also, it's doubly as difficult to drive in these conditions when you've got the night time plus the rain. It's twice as hard to see as it would be in just a night race or just a wet race. And obviously, Emo Guy knows all about that, having raced in Tier 2. Let us know, Emo Guy, what was the visibility like in the dark racing around here? Is it okay?
Oh, we're coming off of that straight line. It does get difficult. It does. When you're coming down, the corner just creeps up on you, and you just have to press on the brakes. It's a challenging track, even in the daylight. But in the dark, you've just got to keep your wits about you. You know, trying the layout of the track into your head, and just keep it consistent.
That's it. So it sounds like practice is really the way to deal with this and to get yourself acclimatised to what's going on. As we see in the background, looks like the only G and Foul gets to go. So JR's lost it. We've got a yellow flag coming through the last sector. JR's lost the car. The only G and Falgas looking very racy here coming towards the last turn. Looks like the only G's actually made the move ahead of him. And Olimar also passing Falgas up the inside. So Falgas dropping back, and these guys all going past JR as he recovers the car into 6th place. And JR's now on the back of Falgas coming down the pit straight. Is he going to go for a move here towards turn 1 as we come down the pit straight? He's going to have a little look to the inside. Can he make it work? It doesn't look like he can for the time being. He backs out of that one. Very
I've
sensibly.
just heard over the team radio there that we have Smithy has retired.
Oh, as we see somebody losing the car in the background. That's Falgas there losing it, and he's just about. Oh, that was close. That was very, very close there. Ukbar there, just swerving out of the way to avoid him. Sorry there, mate.
And also, talking to the chat, Bob Smith, that is the tier 1 elite class of the GTEs.
Yeah, these are the guys who are probably the best suited to dealing with these types of conditions. And as you can see, it's just so tricky out at the moment. Obviously, you've got a part of the world that very, very rarely experiences rain, but when it does, it really does. The rain in Dubai is actually, I've heard from one of our community members here at Motive Racing, actually is artificial. It doesn't naturally rain in Dubai, in this part of the world, but what they do is they plant these plants, which actually there are these massive places, these farms where they basically grow these plants and they create clouds in the atmosphere around the area. Yes, so the rain in Dubai isn't actually that's what I hear anyway. I don't know. Oh, as we see Falgas there going very, very wide, and that is Bruce there having a look to the inside, but it doesn't look like he's able to make it happen for the time being. And these guys, they've got Ukbar in the background closing in on them. Grandad Steedo running in 11th place. It's been a turbulent start for Grandad Steed. Got caught up in the first lap or start line mayhem, which really was hopefully doesn't set the tone for the rest of the race. It was the most horrible start for a lot of guys getting caught up. It looked like, I think it was my dad Peanut who actually got bogged down off the line. Was very, very cautious getting away, and I think it was a domino effect, if you like. There was a lot of guys had nowhere to go in that situation, and ultimately it ended their race.
He just spun. I put the book to the ground. He spun it.
Oh,
and, it just cost everybody else the race.
Yeah, as we see there, Steve, absolutely right there, my guy. As we see Steve losing the car, coming through the penultimate corner. Looks like he's got it pointing in the right direction once again. But yeah, lots of these guys finding it very, very tricky tonight. As we see, there is just had a message from Kurt Hodgson, who's just said that it's called cloud seeding in Dubai. So pretty much it looks like the local government timed this cloud seeding the wrong time, because I don't think we should have had rain falling during this race. And I'm sure the race organisers will be probably on the phone to whoever decided to plant these cloud seeds and complaining, because this has probably caused a lot of chaos here in this one.
Oh yeah, I've just seen a a comment from Corey Smith that the Porsche needs help in the rain. I've seen it spun so many times, and even in the dry, I saw it spin so many times. It's just so back end heavy. Not my personal choice of car. Me personally, I prefer the Ferrari or the Corvette, but the Porsche is a fast car. Just it's just so back end heavy.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's for me the Corvette's the one that I prefer. It's my favourite car
Oh
by a
yeah.
million miles. It's the only one that I've really worked on stock setups, and from there you can just figure out where you need to go with it. It's also quite a versatile car. Pretty much works around every type of circuit. It's fast in a straight line. It's got aero. It's aero efficient. You know, it's probably the best all rounder for me. I know that most people prefer the Porsche. But also the BMW can work if you set it up right. And we saw Bowie in Tier 2. No, it wasn't Bowie. It was who was it in the Aston? Was it Nathan?
No, Barry was an Aston.
Bowie was in the Aston. Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, it was Bowie. Sorry. Yeah, it was Bowie. But yeah, made it work and set some blistering times. Ended up winning the race, which was a phenomenal performance from him. We're currently
Oh
watching
yeah.
Ollie Marr, sat in P5. He's 18 seconds off the lead at the moment. One of the guys who got caught up in the first corner melee. And in the background, it looks like Bruce, Ugbar, and Falguest are starting to battle it out for 6th, 7th, and 8th here, my guy.
Oh yeah, Bruce. I saw him at the back. Just kind of fighting along with Grandad. He was not that far off of him. Then he just came back up in sixth. With Bruce, I think he got the worst of the backlash on the start finish line, and he's doing well to come back. Well, with this kind of damage, no rear wing, no rear bumper, he has no downforce at all, and he's still managing to keep it on the track more than somebody that has no damage at all.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible when you consider we're running damage in this race as well. Full spec damage. It's nothing short of phenomenal, really. As we see in the background there, we've got Falguest having a look at Ugbar to the inside at the end of the back straight. Ugbar's gone a little bit wide. He might get a warning from the race director there, but Falguest trying everything he can to get in his head and try and distract him. But our Flying Dutchman there looks like he actually waves him by there. Looked like a let through there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be posting a link into the comments because Bob Smith seems to be interested in signing up.
Yeah, let's get him in. Let's get him in and see if he wants to jump on our Discord. Obviously, guys, here at Motive Racing, we've got plenty of racing throughout the week for everybody. GTEs on Monday nights, then we've got Clio Cup on Tuesdays. The Friday night GT5 Janetta Cup, obviously on Friday, clues in the name. And then you've got Saturday night GT3 Super League, which myself and Emo Guy will actually be on the track for, rather than commentating. So be interested in that one. Obviously Fuji, I was racing in that one. Managed to take the win in the feature. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to turn up on last Saturday for the race at Donington. You were racing in that one though, Emo Guy. And how was that for you? How did that one go? Oh, we see Oakbar there going a little bit wide there through turn one. But yeah, how was the race at Donington? Because I only saw the highlights.
Unfortunately, I did not have any luck at all. Just purely, I'm driving the Skyline, and that's well renowned for being very easy to spin. So I've actually been, sadly, I have actually been fired by the always evolving racing team, and I have actually moved on to the Ferrari.
The Ferrari. That's a
Yeah.
bold choice. The 488 is. I raced with it for a very, very long time. It was actually the first car that I raced with on Project Cars too. I switched to the Lambo after about a year or two of racing with the Ferrari, and one thing that I found with the Ferrari is that it's quite a stable car, but at the same time, its tyres can wear out quite easily, and at certain temperatures, it just doesn't seem to work very well. Those soft tyres on the Ferrari are fantastic when you make them work, but they do tend to wear out incredibly quickly. I find with the Lambo, I can use hard tyres and get the most out of them. I found I couldn't really do that with the Ferrari. It was just a little bit too technical for me. So nowadays I race with the Lamborghini, but I think it's a good choice. the Ferrari can make it work, and with some of the tracks that are on the calendar, especially Brno, which is the next one, I think he might be onto a winner there. I'm going to struggle like crazy in the Lamborghini around Brno. I know that for sure.
Oh yeah, it's all for me. It's okay putting in practice and everything for days ahead of the race. But for me personally, it's all about how that person performs on that in particular day. They can put in as much practice as they want, and they can be absolutely flying fastest person out there. But when it comes to race day, everything could just go wrong.
We've got side by side here, P6 and 7. Looks like Ollie and Falgest going at it here down the pit straight. Is Falgest going to go for a move up the inside? Looks like he's a bit too far back. And Ollie, for the time being, holding on to the position. But yeah, guys, as you say, as we said, be sure to join us on Saturday for the GT3 Super League. It'll be at 5 p.m. BST, so it's earlier in the evening. But if you can drop everything to be with us, be sure to do that, because myself and Ian in the commentary box with me will be on the track for that one, and it'll be JR, who's currently in P2. Looks like he's actually got the move on Dalavan for P2 and 3. JR's got past him. JR up into second place ahead of Dalavan in the battle for second and third. So the battle for second and third, JR and Dalavan have swapped over positions, and JR is set to be commentating. Oh, it's JR's lost the car a little bit. Oh, slight contact between those guys. JR actually did a fantastic job there of managing to get the brakes on, and the contact was very minimal between those guys. But now they're still side by side. Can JR get the position back in the BMW, or is Dalavan still going to hold it up the inside? Still side by side here. Dalavan looks like he might have to concede it. JR finally holding on to the position there. We saw JR had obviously picked up the position and then had a bit of a moment. Dalavan had a bit of a look in, but these guys still racing here, and in the background the Only G is also catching these guys as well. They currently sat in 4th place, the Only G, making gains here in this one.
Unfortunately, just talking to the chat, Bob Smith, unfortunately it's not allowing me to post a link to the server, so it's not. I don't know if that's just because I'm not a moderator for the channel or anything like that, but unfortunately I cannot post the link to the server.
Let me rectify that for you, Bob. Yeah, Bob, it should be visible now, I think.
Let me try again. No. So sorry, remove any web addresses and try again.
Yeah, it should be. I think my post has just gone up. Should have done. So guys, if you're interested in joining us here at Motive, be sure to click that link in the live comments section. If you're on the phone, it will be below the video, and if you're on your computer, it'll be on the right hand side of the main video screen. Be sure to click that link and join us here on our Discord channel to get involved in the racing and beat one of these guys out on the track. In the meantime, we're watching Dalavan. It looks like he's been passed by JR. In the meantime, we've got a battle here going on for 4th place. The Only G has had a horrible moment here on this one. He's dropped way back off of JR and Dalavan, and now falling back into the clutches of Bruce AFC.
Well,
we missed that one.
The Only G, he is a good racer, and he has got some skill.
Oh, if you say that, commentator's cursed.
Yeah. It's a good car as well. If you know how to handle it, get around those corners, you can keep up that speed, and you will be able to catch up to pretty much anybody else on the track.
Yeah, hopefully we can see him get his way back into this one. Just reading the comments section, we've got Lorna Lou saying, good luck JR, I bet you'll sneak back up. Well, he's done a fantastic job actually, Lorna, because he's managed to get back up into 2nd place after that first lap calamity. And he's lapping 2 minute 10 last time around. He's 14 seconds off of our race leader Archer, who's I think got 2 laps to go. He should be on the penultimate lap now.
I would say he's probably got probably about 1 or 2 more laps left.
Yeah, I think he's going to cross the line one more time after this, but he should be a lap and a half left to go in this run for Archer. So it's been a great performance here from him. He's taken this league by storm since he joined. Sorry, mate.
I just need to turn down my audio, because apparently I'm still echoing.
In the meantime, though, it looks like we've got The only G having a horrible time now. He was closing that gap to JR and Dalavan a couple of laps ago, but he's now dropped down to 5th place behind Bruce AFC, and he's now falling back into the clutches of Ollie Marr. The battle for 5th and 6th, ladies and gentlemen, looking very, very close on the screen. You can see here Ollie making gains, and Falguest is a couple of seconds down the road from these guys, hoping to get involved in this action. If these guys trip over each other, you can bet your house that Falguest will be there ready to take the position. In the background you can also see Dalavan Bruce even in the distance, but it looks like he's a little bit too far ahead for these guys to bother him. He looks like he's pretty set in 4th place, so this is the battle here between 5th and 6th, the only G and Ollie Marr. Who's going to take 5th place here? We're riding with Bruce, who's a couple of seconds up the road from these guys, but in the background that is the main battle that we're looking at here. Flash of the lights from Ollie. They need to so the battle for 5th and 6th is really heating up, and you can see there the only G gets a little bit of a compromise run, and now Ollie Marr pulls alongside him to the right hand side. Can he put it around the outside? He's going to try and stick it, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it at the moment. The only G there fending him off and doing a fantastic job at the moment.
Well,
Look
it's
at that
definitely been an
spray.
interesting race, and if we look at the map, it's very, very, very well spread out. You know, Archo is just doing a fantastic job, showing us exactly how it's done on this track and this weather.
Yeah, he is. He's laying down the benchmark, and we expected it in qualifying. He set a fantastic time in the dry, and he's really kept that up in the wet. It's clear to see that he has put the practice in here in the training.
Oh,
Oh, Ollie Marr's lost it. Ollie Marr's lost it.
yeah, it looks like he clipped the back end of the OG and just spun it.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, as we see our race leader Archel is on to the final lap of the race, lap 10 of 10 for our sprint race for round 3 of Motive Racing's GTE Championship at the Dubai Autodrome. If you're just tuning in and you're seeing this rain in Dubai and you're thinking what on earth has happened, it's been quite an unusual evening here off the line in wet conditions. We had uh, I think might have Peanut having a horrible start off the line, which just caused a domino effect, and a lot of guys running into him, nowhere to go for the rest of the pack. There were about 4 or 5 cars side by side.
Yeah, it was just extremely unfortunate. You know, not much could be done about it. Just people just wanting to get the race, you know, on and going. It's just they put the foot down, spun it, and it just caused, you know, like, as I said, an extremely bad domino effect.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, part and parcel of racing, these things do happen from time to time. But we're currently riding with Archel, who's 6 tenths off of his personal best middle sector this time around. Not that that's going to bother him, because he is in control of this one as he comes into the final sector of the lap now. He's got 2 corners left to go, 1 corner left to go now as he gets a little bit loose on the curb. Doesn't matter at this point. Archel, our man from Georgia, our championship leader here at Motive, is going to come over the line to take the victory here in the sprint race. Fantastic job from Archel. JR is going to come around and be best of the rest here in 2nd place. Lorna will be will be very, very happy with that one, seeing JR doing a great job out on track tonight. Could have maybe given Archel something to worry about had the first lap melee not occurred. Flashed his lights over the line in the BMW. Good to see him making that. We got Dalavan over the line to complete the podium. But yeah, the rest of the pack coming in thick and fast now.
Well, I
Only
definitely
G.
feel that Archel is if Venom was still to be in this championship, then Archel and Venom would be the 2 biggest competitors for each other, and it would have made for some fantastic racing tonight. But like we said,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, you know, Venom, he's got other commitments in real life. He's got school, he's got other things to deal with. So
Absolutely, life comes first always, and it's a shame to lose him, but we hope that he's doing well and can join us at some point in the future. Obviously, when school ends in a couple of months, he might be able to join us for a season or 2. But we got Falguest here, currently riding with him. He's finished 6th in this race. Ollie Marr 7th. We got Ugbar, John Boy, and Grandad Steve completing the top 10. Unfortunately, Richie, our stand-in for tonight, didn't get too much airtime. Our Frenchman and racer in our LMP2 championship on Saturday night. Was driving the Corvette tonight, and it wasn't the best race for him, but good to have him out on track. Hopefully he can respond in the feature race. We're going to have a 10-minute qualifying session to precede the feature race, and then after that we will be underway for the main event of the evening. 2 races out of 3 done for tonight. Archil takes the win, JR second and Dalavan third. We're going to see if we can grab a quick interview with JR, our man in P2. I know that Archil and Dalavan don't usually do interviews, I don't think. We'll see if we can have a quick word with JR anyway, see what the start line chaos was like from his perspective, if we can. Right, here we go.
If that's what Archer was like in the rain, then imagine what he's going to be like in the dry. Fuck.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll be a chance for someone to keep up with him though, because I know that JR's quick
Yeah.
around here. By the way, we're live. We're on the audio. Um,
Right.
so here we go. We got looks like we've got a few guys coming out. John Boy already exiting the pit, first man to do a lap. So guys, this is going to be the second qualifying session of the night for Tier 1. It's for the feature race. The top 5 from the sprint race can't qualify for this one, so it's going to give a chance for the guys who finished in mid-pack to maybe put themselves at the front and get the jump on those guys that finished at the top in the sprint. Guys like John Boy will have a chance to really show what they can do here in this qualifying session. It's a 10-minute quali to proceed the feature race. We did try to get an interview with JR in the little intermission there, but it does look like he's very busy with sorting out the setup for this race and getting everything sorted out, and obviously he's got his own stuff to do in the meantime, so we respect that. But hopefully we're able to get an interview with the winner of this feature race coming up, although I don't know if Archel does interviews. I don't think he does, if I remember correctly.
I don't think he does.
No,
I don't think
no.
I've ever saw him do one.
No, I don't think so. But
Yeah, guys in the chat, if you want to comment down on who you're going to be banking on for this race, or whoever your favourite is at all for this race. Me
Yeah,
personally,
appreciate it, let us know.
I'm going to be banking for JR. Yeah, he does so much for the server. He's just an overall great guy. It does feel like it deserves a win at this point.
yeah, I agree with you on that. He's been working tirelessly the last few days. For those of you watching, we've had a difficult last couple of days here on the Motive Racing Discord. I'll be honest, I'll be transparent with you. It's not been easy, but one guy who's really looked out for all of us here, especially myself and Motive Racing, has been JR. Despite being a full-time dad and lots of stuff that he's got to devote himself to, he has really busted a gut, and big thank you to him. He's sat in the pits at the moment. He finished second in the sprint race. I'm really hoping, like Emo Guy, that he can bring out the goods here in this feature race. We saw him Saturday night at Donington. He put in a hell of a commentator shift on that one. Coordinates the GT3 league, has it all run he has it all sort of mapped out perfectly. He's micro details with this man JR. It's good to have him out on track and able to let his hair down for a little bit.
Oh yeah, as competitive as this community is, it's just in the day, it gives people some time to let their hair down and just chill and drive.
It certainly does. It definitely. And we're currently watching John Boy here coming through the middle sector of the lap. It looks like we're not quite sure actually what sort of lap time it is for the time being. We've got still nobody set a lap time. We've got Richie out there at the moment. Ubar also out there on the track. We've got My Dad Peanut, Olimar, Airtel, Granite Stee, Falguest, Harris and Smithy all out there. Guys like Bruce AFC, JR, Dalavan, Archel and the Only G all prohibited from setting a lap time here in this session, as we see Richie coming through the last sector. No, it's the middle sector by the looks of it, but we're just waiting here. I love that. I love the split times at the bottom. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
They look so cool, man.
Well, I don't get that, but I just get the map.
Yeah, you just get the graphics saying splits. No, I get this really nice screen, and so do you guys at home. You all know what I'm talking about. Big thank you to Emo Guy for being not only the co-commentator tonight, but also the producer on set, making sure that you get these nice snazzy picture at the bottom of your screens. As we see My Dad Peanut putting in a great lap there, 153.9.
Oh, that is a really fast time, especially for the Porsche.
Yeah, setting the marker at the moment. Smithy coming round with a 154.5. Harris sets a 54 dead. A thousandth of a second over a 1 minute 54 exactly, and he's 800ths of a second shy of My Dad Peanut. But it does look like he's unfortunately disconnected just a moment after that, so that is incredibly unfortunate there for Harris. Hopefully he can get back in and get that sorted out before we get going here for the feature race, but that's not what he would have wanted. Just after he'd set a really good lap time as well.
Yeah, it was just, extremely unfortunate. With this track, it is quite hard to put in a good time, especially with all the, the tight, slow corners, and also the big, long straight you've got in the middle of the track. Yeah, it is so hard to put in a decent time, so especially in the night time.
Yeah, it is indeed. As we're watching, Smithy is faster. Currently sat P2 in this session, was P3 before the unfortunate uh, demise there of Harris. Hopefully he can get back in before the session gets past the 3 minute mark, because past the 3 minute mark, that's it, we're locked in for the race. And it looks like Smithy's got way out of it. He's trying to get track position here, trying to get some clear air. He doesn't want to get held up on his flying lap. Sensible driving there, avoiding the problem before it arises. Good forward thinking there from Smithy as he comes around into the last sector now. He's about to start what will be most likely his first of 2 runs. You've got 3 minutes 40 on the clock. A lap round here is 1 minute 50-ish, so he should have a couple of runs in the tank here at the end of this session. Maybe.
For me personally, that winding corner, not the last one he came through, but the one beforehand, that was probably my favourite corner of this track. For me, when I was doing qualifying, I was just, for some reason, I kept on drifting, but as soon as it came to the biting point to go straight, my car just, bit on and went, and that's where I kept most of my speed, and that's how I managed to get where I was.
Yeah, it's definitely been that point where you've just got to, once you feel the car going away from you, you've just got to grab hold of it and hope for the best. And with these GTE cars, when you commit, you do actually feel that extra grip. You just got to commit yourself to the corners and have a bit of confidence, as we see. Oh, not quite like that. Maybe
Well,
that's a little bit.
it.
He did just about, yeah, but it definitely cost him a little bit of time there. But yeah, you do need to live on the edge with these, as Emo Guy says there. Definitely the way to drive these cars. Complete opposite from GT3. With the GT3s, you have to literally tame them and just pat them and calm them down. That's the only way to drive them. But with these, you've really got to rag them around. Well, not rag them around. That's they're not Clios, but definitely you've got to extract the time from them. Certainly.
Oh yeah, you've definitely got to force it. Don't force it too much, or else you will end up like what we saw at the beginning of the previous race there, and you'll just end up binning it.
That's the thing, yeah. So obviously the start, it was mainly the Porsche that was struggling off the start. We heard a report in the intermission after the race from the only G saying that all the guys in the Porsches were having an absolute nightmare off the start. The cars were veering off to the left as soon as they accelerated, so that was horrible there from the Porsches. Maybe not enough time spent practicing starts here for this race ultimately led to their undoing, as we see Smithy here exiting the last turn. Currently sat P2 in this session. He's 6/10 off pole and he comes over the line, and it's not an improvement. Stays P2. He's going to get one more go here to try and put himself up on pole for this feature race for Motive Racing's GTE Championship round 3 here at Dubai Autodrome. Current order is my my dad Peanut. I know. My dad Peanut.
God.
I almost called Rob my drunk uncle. My dad Peanut sat in P1. Here he comes. Can he extend his margin at the top of the leaderboard? Currently with a 1 minute 53.9, 6/10 of a second clear at the top. Comes over the line, can't improve, but he's going to get one more go to try and cement his position. Ollie Marr, John Boy and Falguest all out there on laps. Can they put themselves up there in amongst the top times here? Smithy still out there, currently our man in P2, provisionally on the front row. We'll be hoping for more here in the later stages of this session. This is our final qualifying session of the night, ladies and gentlemen, for feature race for Motive Racing's GTEs. The Tier 1 boys in front of you tonight. The boys who finished at the top in the sprint race, the top 5, unable to qualify for this feature race. Starting at the back, it's going to be a lottery as to whereabouts they start amongst themselves. But it looks like several other drivers also neglecting to set lap times as well, by the looks of it.
Well, for a lot of these guys, I fear that a lot of them don't really care about qualifying. It's more about how they drive during the race and not how they perform during qualifying.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, the points are paid out in the race, so that is the most important bit. Ollie Master out there on a lap time. Can he do anything? Put himself up there in amongst it. We know that he's a specialist at doing late lap times. Ollie Marr currently P5 in this session. Whereabouts is he? We can't get eyes on him at the moment. Here he is. He's just coming through what looks to be the first sector now. Is it? Yeah, just the end of the first sector. Just about got over the line in time to start a lap. And he's 2/10 down on his personal best so far. As he comes down this long back straight up towards this very difficult right-hander, 90 degree, no, a bit more than 90 degrees actually.
Oh, and Falgues has got up to second place.
Great lap there from Falgues.
Wow.
Excellent stuff. So
Watching
can't
him
Ollie
back
do
from,
anything?
I think he came back from 7th. I'm sure.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he'd set a lap time up until that point, so that is phenomenal. Late last-ditch effort there from Falgues, puts himself on the front row provisionally. Can Ollie do anything? He's 3/10 up here on this lap through the middle sector. Now it's just the final sector to go. Maybe that's where he was losing his time beforehand, as we see him go a little bit wide, but keeping it together. He's going to go for a late apex here, coming through the third to last corner now, and this is it for Ollie Marr. He's got to commit now and go for it as he goes a little bit wide there, coming through the second to last corner. Bit of curve on the left-hand side, maybe a warning from the race director, hopefully not here, and into the last turn. What can Ollie Marr do? Currently sat P6 in this session, 1.8 seconds off the pace. He comes over the line. Doesn't look like it was an improvement.
No, definitely not.
Oh, he did. He moved up.
Oh, he did.
He moved up 2 places, right at the death of the session there. Up into P4, great stuff there from Ollie Marr. It's going to be My Dad Peanut starting on pole position, ahead of Falgues, Smithy, Ollie Marr, Richie, Grandad Steve, John Boy, Ugbar and Bruce, and JR complete the top 10. We've got Peanut himself, sat in P11, Dalavan Archer, the only G, unable to qualify for this session. What a showing there from My Dad Peanut, otherwise known as RDJ, formerly RDJ, or as we call him here, Rob. Great lap there from him, putting it at the front. Falgues and Smithy doing a great job. That's great qualifying there, Emo guy. Who would you tip as your favourite here for the victory this evening?
Well, for me, just for being able to put in one lap and be able to get up to second place, it has to be Falgues for me. But just for the qualifying, it's definitely Falgues. But for the overall race, it's definitely still going to be JR for me.
There, yeah, heard it here first. JR is Emo guy's favourite for the win tonight. Lorna Lou will be very excited to hear that in the comment section, because she's a big fan of JR. Always supports him here in the comment section. Also, we've got Archel lining up just 3 places behind JR, the sprint race winner. So it's not going to be easy for him. But we are about to go in a few moments' time for the feature race. And guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe here on YouTube, and hit that bell so you can be notified when we're live here on the Motive Racing channel. We are going to proceed to the next page, and we are going to get this feature race underway.
Looks like we definitely do have a full forward grid of Porsches. Germany is definitely well and truly represented here tonight, and Dubai. Let's turn it down. That's not good. OG had actually disconnected by accident.
Yeah, unfortunately exited the lobby in the pre-race lobby screen. We're about to go racing here for the feature race. And it looks like we're underway, and a better start this time from My Dad Peanut, but it looks like he's been slightly outstarted there by Foul. Guess he's pulled alongside him already, coming up towards turn one. We're coming down the pit straight here. These guys, absolutely nothing between those wheels as they come up towards the first turn. Olimar making a good start there. Smithy tucking in behind these guys, and it looks like Richie looking to the inside into turn one. But Foul Guest making the move up the inside into P1. Fantastic start from him after doing that late lap in qualifying. He's now up into the lead. My Dad Peanut in second place. We've got Smithy, Olimar, Richie. We're going to steal. It looks like JR's had a moment there. And Emo Guy, your favourite, JR, having a terrible start to this race.
No. Thank God I've never had money on this.
Disastrous start here from JR. Unfortunately for Lorna Lou, that's not what she would have wanted at all. He's now down in P13 in this session. It looks like Dalavan's also had a bit of a tricky start here, running in P12. But in the meantime, we've got Falguest showing the way. It looks like Ukbar and Archel going side by side. Ukbar's dropped back to 11th place here. Archel is trying to make his way back up through the field. He's made his way up into 9th already. But Falguest leads the field. My Dad Peanut second. We've got Smithy, Olimar, Richie, Grandad Steve, John Boy, Bruce Law. And Falguest has almost lost it. Had a half spin there. Coming up that right-hander at the end of the back straight. He only lost one position. Managed to hold on to it just about. But now Smithy's right behind him. But Falguest still sticking to the back of My Dad Peanut. So no harm done by the looks of it. Still in the race and still looking to get involved in this one.
Oh yeah, when they're in the rain, this is when this tier truly shines. No, this is exactly what you want: close, clean racing, but also being competitive.
We got a battle here for P7. Looks like John Boy coming under pressure now from Bruce AFC. It's a very close battle here. John Boy in the middle of a sandwich there. He's now coming under heavy pressure from Bruce. Grandad Steve's right ahead of these guys as well. Nothing at all separating these boys on the road. Very, very clean first lap in the dry conditions. It looks like it's suiting these guys a lot more. John Boy right all over the back here of Steve, exiting the last turn. In the background, you could also see that Richie and that Ollie and Richie are also very close on the track as well. But here we come down the pit straight. John Boy fending him off, and it looks like Smithy is in the pits, as is Dalavan. So these guys opting to make their mandatory pit stop very, very early on in the race. Obviously, there is a mandatory tyre change for the pit stops as well, so we're going to have to monitor each of these guys when they come into the pits to make sure that they are following the regulations, the rules and regulations set out very clearly. And you can see there a little bit of gamesmanship there from Smithy as he backs Dalavan all the way up to the pit wall and not giving him any space as they come towards the pit exit. But it does look like it's a good pit stop from both those guys. Dalavan with a slightly quicker stop there, Emo Guy.
Yeah, it seemed like Smithy was just waiting there for Delavan just to finish his pit stop so he could try and do whatever he was trying to do to him there coming out of the pit.
Yeah, it did seem like that. I don't know if there's maybe been some kind of argy-bargy between those guys on the first lap that we missed. But in the meantime, it does look like there is a battle going on for the lead. I did it again. My Dad Peanut still leading the race by half a second to Falguest. We're watching Grandad Steve here trying to fend off John Boy, but it looks like John Boy's gone around the outside. Can he make the move stick? He does indeed. What a move there from John Boy. Drives clean round the outside of our man from Newcastle, and he's up into 5th place here. Next up for John Boy will be Richie, and now Steve finding himself under pressure here from Bruce AFC. Can Bruce make the move? Looks like Steve's going to close the door on him. Great driving there from Steve, but Bruce is going to get him in the second phase of the corner. Still looks like Steve's trying to hang it around the outside, but he can't. He's going to have to concede the position. He's now under pressure from a Ford GT in the shape of Archel, who's making his way back through the field after starting at the back for this one.
Well, also looks like Grandad C also has incurred a 1 second penalty for not slowing down while exceeding the track limits. And JR is back up to 9th place.
Yeah, JR is fighting back after that disastrous first corner there. We actually missed what happened to him, but we saw him turning his car around and trying to recover from a horrible, horrible start. We're seeing the Only G retired from the race, guys. Only G fans, unfortunately, he did actually not make it to the start of the race. Managed to quit out before we started, which is very, very unfortunate indeed to see that. But he is hopefully he'll still be watching the race and seeing how this one develops.
Also, Bruce has also incurred a 1 second penalty for exceeding track limits as well.
Yeah, it's Bruce here running in mid-pack here. It looks like he's just been passed by Archer. Archer picking up yet another driver here as he makes his way back through. But Bruce looks like he's running in some clear air here. Not really too close to Stee as we see. Still sticking with Archer actually, which is no mean feat. But yeah, you can see there's a 4 or 5 car train ahead of these.
He's also incurred a 1 second penalty.
Let's stop that. That's seriously. I don't mind like looking at it every now and then, but anyway, we've got Bruce. He's losing time to Archel now by a little bit. It's 6 tenths down on his personal best split time as we see some action up front, and we've got a spin here coming through the fourth to last turn here. Bruce there getting sideways and losing the position there to Ollie, Richie and John Boy and Archer as well. And we see here we've got somebody coming into the pits to make their mandatory stop. It looks like it's John Boy. So John Boy looking to try and get the jump on these guys and making an early pit stop, hoping to get the undercut. Interesting to see if it's going to work out or not. Yeah, we're currently watching Richie here, sat in 4th place at the moment. He is running in a sandwich between Ollie Marr and Archel, and Archel still trying to make more progress. I'm surprised Archel hasn't come in for a pit stop because he's got some very strong pace. Maybe a better advice to try and get the jump on these guys by bringing it in and getting the undercut. But it looks like he's still trying to stick with it and make his way back through, trying to pick off these guys. And we see Richie having a look to the inside here of Ollie. And in the meantime, it looks like Bruce also having a look at Archer or Richie. Oh, getting a little bit loose. But I just saw Bruce there trying to size up Archer, which is pretty bold of him. But it looks like Bruce is really giving this one a go as we see. It looks like we've got Richie running into Archer there, having to get way out of it. Archer now getting a good run. They're 3 wide here. This is a recipe for disaster, my guy. What's going to happen here? It looks like in the end, JR backing well out of that one, trying to get involved in the action between Richie and Bruce. But thinking better of that one. Bruce still on the inside, has the position ahead of Richie. And in the foreground, you can also see that it looks like we've got Ollie and Archer battling it out. But Archer looks like he's picked him off as Richie comes into the pits.
I have a lot of confidence in JR. He's doing, coming back from dead last all the way up to 6 so far. Yeah, I think he's still got a lot more to give right now during this race.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely haven't seen his full potential at this point in the race. Currently sat P6 at the moment as Ollie gets passed on the inside by JR, who's making fantastic progress in this race when you consider the start that he had, and he's actually closing now on Archer, who's sat in 3rd place. Archer struggled to make his way. Yeah, but JR and Archer were the 2 quickest guys in the first qualifying session, and they're now separated by 3 seconds. Pardon me. So it looks like that's all right. No, so it looks like JR might end up taking the fight to. Good to see if he can give him a real fight in this one. He's all over the back of Bruce. He's still going to get past Bruce first of all, and Bruce is no pushover as we've seen raced last week in the Tier 2 race at Laguna Seca in the rain. Had a poor start to the race, ended up spinning off the line, but he obviously got pole position, so he must have been quick to get there in the first place. And he's been doing a good job so far in Tier 1. As always we see that JR almost losing the car and taking the polystyrene brake marker with him. His fellow drivers will not thank him for that. Obviously the brake marker being removed, that will hinder those guys' ability to actually scout out their braking point as they come into that particular corner. But it looks like Bruce is doing a good job here of holding him off. JR really struggling to pick him off now. He needs to get this done though if he wants to take the fight to Archer.
Well, JR is really taking the corners, as you just saw there. He's definitely using his slipstream for his fellow competitors to his advantage. As Bruce has just went into the pits, JR takes 4th place just behind Archer.
Yeah, there we go. So Bruce in for his mandatory stop. Hopefully he's doing the tyre change. We will be saving the race replay after this race to make sure that all drivers are indeed observing the rules and regulations that we set out before this race. They must change at least 2 tyres on the car, can be the front or the rear. Obviously, you're better advised to change the front tyres, but you can change either. It's no big deal. So currently we've got My Dad Peanut leading the race. He's got a 2.2 second gap to Falguest at the front. Falguest has accrued a 3 second penalty at the start of this race though.
Yeah, it's a very easy track to obtain any kind of penalty on. Even the slightest bit off, and the marshals will not take kindly to that, and they will penalise you for it.
Absolutely, they're uncompromising here on Project Cars 2.
It looks like Akbar might be he's getting lined up for an overlap, it looks like. He has appeared as a blue dot on the track map, and it looks like he will be marked as a back marker for this point of the race.
Yeah, it does look unfortunate there for Rugbar. We know he's got lots of pace, but unfortunately this GTE season's been a little bit unfortunate for him so far this season. It's not really worked out too well. He's our league coordinator here at Motive Racing, runs our LMP2 championship on Saturday nights, running from 8 PM BST. Be sure to join us here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel for that. That's coming up this weekend on Super Saturday. As we see here, JR coming over the line to complete lap 6 of the race, so that he's now got 4 seconds to the car in front, which is Falguest. He now finds himself 5-6 seconds behind Archer, and looks like Falguest goes straight on through that corner.
Yeah, that looked like a track cut to me, if I've ever seen one.
Let's keep an eye on the split times there, because he may have backed off. I'm not sure, but yeah, it just looked like he completely ignored that. Oh no, he is getting penalties for it, so
Yep.
I suppose he's making his own bed if he does that. But yeah, Falguest running 5 seconds behind the leader. Had a good start to this race. Put it on the front row, qualified in second. Yeah, his split time is 1.2 seconds down, so he definitely did get out of it. So fair play. So yeah, currently looks like My Dad Peanut leading the race, and Archel has closed that gap to within 2 seconds at the front now. So guys, this is for the win between these two guys. My Dad Peanut getting a not so great start, getting jumped off the line by Falguest. A better start than what he got in the sprint race. Obviously what we saw in that one, he had a horror show off the line, ended up causing a massive pile up, but he has now got a good lead so far in this race, lapping in the 1 minute 54s at the moment. Looks like this time around he's actually responded to the pressure from Archer and is now lapping. It looks like this is probably going to be a 1 minute 53 for him. It's that split time that you see in the top left hand corner between first and second looks like it's staying at around 2 seconds. So let's keep an eye here and see what My Dad Peanut does this time around. So it's a 54.5. So actually quite a little bit slower than Archel. Archel did a 54.1, so Archel half a second quicker than our race leader last time around. But it's all now down to his racecraft, really. Sorry, here we go.
Has My Dad Peanut actually been in for his pit yet? I don't think I saw him.
No, he hasn't. The top 4 haven't been in, but everyone from 5th downwards has.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting one for right now. This could be anybody's race at this point.
Yeah, definitely could. I think actually maybe Peanut himself, ALTL, running in P5, actually hasn't been in. I'm not certain on that, so we'll have to obviously wait and see for that one. I think he might not have been in as well. For those confused over the nicknames that we're using, My Dad Peanut is actually the same person as RDJ124. You may recognise him. He's raced with us since the beginning here at Motive Racing. He actually changed his name to My Dad Peanut in dedication to ALTL, who's nicknamed Peanut by his fellow drivers, and Rob obviously referring to Peanut as his father in this instance. So Rob Racing under the alias of my dad Peanut here at Dubai for round 3 of Motor Racing's GTE Championship this evening, and currently showing the way half a second ahead of Archil, but Archil's been closing that gap steadily over the last few laps, and he's right up on his bumper now for the lead of the race.
Oh yeah, right now would be a great time for any of these 4 to put in for a pit.
Here he comes.
Pit like that my dad. Yep, right now, like, as you can see, he's going for his pit.
As you
He
say.
does have, as that group does have a really good lead ahead of the rest of the pack.
They do. They've got 7 seconds to the next man, which is Falguest, who looks like he's coming out of the last turn now. He's going to assume second place. He's got a 3-second penalty, we must remember. And looks like JR is closing also on Falguest now as well. JR actually keeping good pace at the moment when you consider the wars that he's been in this race. Had a horrible start, made his way back through, then had another little error a couple of laps ago. Driving the M3, which is, I've said before, it's a bold choice. It's not an easy car to get going, but if you get the right setup and you put in the practice in this car, then it can be rewarding here in the GTE category. It's about fine tuning and getting a thing that works for you. No, as we see, JR getting into the wall and taking some polystyrene with him once again. I'm not sure what those polystyrene blocks have done to JR, but he's decided. No, I'm joking. It wasn't intentional, obviously. But
let's go back on what you were talking about. You know, the car choice. Back in the season 1 of the GTEs of motor racing, my arch nemesis was actually driving the M3, but I was also in the Ferrari, and you know it's a very competitive car to go up against if the right driver has it. It's just a really good car, but personally I don't like it myself.
yeah, it can be. It's a tricky one. I mean, I've raced the M3 in the GT3s. I haven't used the GTE car. To be fair, it's always been the Corvette for me. I can't really drive any of the other ones. For me, the Corvette is a jack of all trades, and it's a master on the straights. So, you know, it's got a trump card, and it's also, you know, it's a pretty good all rounder. So that's the one. That's my car of choice always.
Oh yeah, it's the same with me for the Ferrari. It sounds nice. It looks nice. It's fast in the straights, has good grip. It is a perfect all-round car, but for this season I've just opted for the Corvette just for a little bit of a change.
Yeah, and I think you made the right choice with the Corvette. Ultimately, it's about driver preference, and that's what we see here most of the time. Is that some of these guys will go in one car and they'll see that there's another guy driving a certain car, and they're going ridiculously quick in it. Like for example, Archil in the Ford GT. People will switch to the Ford GT and they think that they're going to be fast in it, and it doesn't work like that. You've got to have the knack.
Yeah, it's all down to each driver's personal skill. Just because one person can handle the car, like it's glued to the track, does not mean that you can personally drive it like that as well.
No, certainly not. It takes a certain knack and a certain skill to be able to master this tricky Ford GT Le Mans race car. This isn't actually the Le Mans car. It's actually a GTE car, but it's raced at Le Mans. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, it's used at the 24-hour race races in the GT category.
But for me, the only thing I do like, the 2 things I like about the Ford, and that's its looks and how it sounds.
Yeah, definitely. I think the engine's got a lot to do with it. Actually, saying that, got to apologise to the guys on the stream for the audio mixer here. It's actually all the way to the commentary audio, and I was asked to change it before the race. So I did mean to do it. Unfortunately, I just forgot. I do apologise for that. So, unfortunately, the guys on the stream, all you can hear is myself and Emo Guy yapping away, and you don't actually get to hear any of the cars. So I do apologise for that. Next time out, we will get that sorted out, so you guys on the stream can listen to some beautiful GTE cars, especially the Ford GT, which has got a very, very sort of like a grunty but quite crisp sound to it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we'll hopefully get that on for you for the next one. Having a look down the order, it looks like Ollie Moore and Dalavan are having a battle for P7 and 8. Let's see if we can get a look on this. The Porsche here trying to fend off the Ferrari as they come into the last turn now. Hard on the brakes here. Is this the last turn? Looks like it. It is indeed.
Yep.
Down the straight. Can Dalavan get the perfect exit and try and slot into the slipstream and make a move on Ollie Moore? Last time around, Ollie slightly quicker than Dalavan, so he's pulled out that gap. These guys have been battling it out for the last couple of laps here into turn 1. It looks like Ollie looking pretty comfortable for the time being. Ollie Moore, our regular here at Motive Racing, races in all of our championships except the LMP2s, I think it is. He races in GTEs, Clios. Yeah, it's pretty much all of them. So he knows his way around here at Motive Racing, and especially in these GTEs, he's really got to grips with these. Specialised in the Clios and the Ginettas. And originally, as we see there, it looks like Dalavan goes up the inside of him. Makes the move, great stuff. Opportunism there from Dalavan. And he's up into P7, but I'm sure Ollie's going to want to fight this back. But as I was saying, Ollie was a specialist in the Ginettas, the GT5 Ginettas and the Clios before this. And during the coronavirus crisis, he actually has been able to race a lot more. He does go to boarding school ordinarily, but obviously with the virus, he's home at the moment and able to hone his racing skills, which were already pretty damn good before. He's raced actually real cars before, and he's done karting as well, so he knows how to race, and he knows he's got the skills, got the coordination, and it's good to see him out on track this evening. We see Archil here in the pit lane. I don't know if he's been in this box. It looks like he might have already been in this box. Yes, he has.
Yeah, he has.
So
we have Falguez and JR battling it off for first place right now.
Yeah, this is both of these boys have been in for their mandatory pit stop. So this is, I believe, yeah, they have, haven't they? Oh no, they haven't. They haven't. Sorry, no, they haven't. No, they haven't. Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking there. This is a battle temporarily for the lead. These guys 20 seconds to the good of Archil. They still need to come in. When they do, it's going to be fascinating to see if they can come out closer to My Dad Peanut and Smithy. My Dad Peanut got jumped in the pits massively actually, because we saw he was battling Archil for the win when those guys came in, but he's now finds himself 9 seconds behind Archil, so he's had an absolute mare coming out of the pits, and down in 5th place. He will hopefully move back up by the time these guys all come in. I'm expecting My Dad Peanut to come out either 2nd or 3rd by the time Val and JR come in for their stops. There's still plenty of racing left to do. We got 5 laps left to go here in the feature race for round 3 of Motor Racing's GTE Championship here at the Dubai Autodrome, and it's been a great evening of racing so far. We had Tier 2 earlier on. We saw Bowie take the victory ahead of Harris sorry, not Harris, of what am I talking about? Chris Pissock. I do apologise.
Yeah.
Bowie taking the win that one.
Power nap.
Yeah, well, I've just been awake for far too long today. I was up at 6 AM this morning, so coffee keeps me awake. Coffee makes me talk fast and make me sound like I'm awake, but trust me, I'm not.
You're really not.
I'm not. But anyway, JR comes in for his mandatory pit stop. Looks like the pit crew are ready for him now. Let's hope that he can get it stopped in time and not run over his jackman. He does indeed get it pretty nicely, and it looks like he is observing the tyre change, which is great to see, because we were worried when we implemented this rule that we would have a couple of very cheeky, as JR tries to run over a neighbouring pit crew there. That might be an attempted murder charge for JR after this race. We'll have to keep an eye on that one and see how that one develops. ARTL also into the box. Peanut himself. We've spoken a lot about My Dad Peanut in this race, but Peanut himself is coming out of the pits now. It looks like his son is coming out in 5th. And ARTL here in 9th place. But Peanut's son,
go over that name, can't you?
Peanut's son running in 6th. It looks like he's actually had a mistake though. Peanut's son in 7th. He's dropping back. He's dropping back by miles. What's happened to My Dad Peanut? Down in 8th place. He's had an absolute mare. What has happened? He's been passed by Dalavan, Ollie Moore and Grandad Stee. All these guys making way past him. and he's now. Oh no, he
he's off
spun it.
again.
He spun it, and Granddad Steve and By That Peanut both spun it, coming through the middle sector there. Disaster for those guys. And now Richie looks like he's closing in on these guys as well. So, oh, that's absolutely agonising there for Granddad Steve and for My Dad Peanut. This race has gone absolutely horribly wrong. A catastrophic run that time around. They both seem to spin in sync there as they're coming around that middle sector. I'm not sure what happened, but that's absolutely gutting for those guys. As we see Falguest coming into the pits to make his mandatory pit stop. It looks like Archill's going to take the race lead or resume the race lead. It's now going to be very interesting to see where Falguest comes up in relation to Smithy and JR, because the gap was about 25 seconds as he hit the pit lane. I think he will come out probably a little way behind them. He should come out somewhere around Ollie, I think. Ollie, maybe Steve. As Archill comes round. 4 laps left to go here at Dubai. We've got Falguest exiting the pit box now, coming towards the end of the pit lane as he trundles down. He's currently sat P2, but that's going to drop a little bit further back here when he crosses that white line and reaches turn 1. There we go. Smithy comes by. Looks like JR comes by as well. Is Dalavan going to get him as well? Nope. It looks like
No.
Falguest. Oh, no, he doesn't. Yeah, so Falguest comes out just ahead of Dalavan, a couple of seconds down the road from JR. So the battle for podium spots looks pretty hot at the moment. Smithy, JR, Falguest and Dalavan separated by 5 seconds here, with 4 to go here at Dubai. This is race on here between these boys. Who's going to take the 2nd and 3rd spots here and join Archil on the podium?
Well, Smithy and GR, no, for me they're very equal. That Porsche, as long as they can keep that back end on the tarmac and stop it from spinning while being under pressure from JR, I'm sure he should be able to keep it on in 2nd place, and GR should be able to secure a comfortable victory in 3rd place.
Yeah, the victory amongst the podium finishers here, as we see Smithy coming onto the brakes here, and he's had a quiet one as Smithy stayed out of trouble and got the hammer down after his pit stop, finds himself in 2nd place. He's got a habit of doing this as Smithy in feature races. He's a grafter and he gets his head down, gets out of the way and manages to put in the lap times, put in the performance, and once the pit stop phase is complete, he sort of pops up out of nowhere. So it's great to see him doing a great job here this evening. He's 12 seconds behind the race leader Archil, but he's had some good pace this evening. Maybe if it wasn't for the first lap moments, he might have given him something to worry about, but we've been saying that all night about Archil, if his opponents hadn't done this or hadn't done that. But the fact is, Archil has done nothing but keep himself out of trouble, and when you consistently keep yourself out of danger as a driver, that is going to bring you success and the points and the victories to show for it. As we have a look there at the timing board. Yep, we got a face full of timing board here, and there we go. So Smithy currently coming into turn 1. He's 13.5 seconds off the race leader. JR, it looks like he's closing here on him actually.
Well, as long as JR can keep it close to Smithy, he should, with Smithy having that time penalty, he should be able to, as long as he keeps it close up, he should be able to keep that, keep 2nd place at his sights.
Yeah, hopefully. It's definitely on the cards. He's now looks like he's within a second here. As we've got 2.5 laps to go here at Dubai. JR doing his fastest first sector of the Grand Prix so far, or of the race, should I say. So he's saving the best till last. Looks like he's kept those tyres in the sweet spot, and now he's going to have a crack here at 2nd place as he locks up here, coming at the end of the back straight. He almost has a half spin there, but just about holds it together. This is now the crunch point. It's about what you say, Emo Guy. It's about pushing that car to its limits and on the edge, but just about keeping it. You've got to use the accelerator sometimes as a control mechanism for these cars, which is bizarre. It sounds crazy, but those of you who've driven the GTEs on Project Cars 2 will know what I'm talking about. 1.5 seconds of the gap between P2 and 3. Looks like Falguest and Dalavan, maybe their tyres going off a little bit. And Bruce is having a battle with Richie here. P6, 7 and 8. Grandad Steve and Ollie looks like they're getting involved as well. This is heating up here. Bruce trying to defend from Richie. Richie looks to the outside. Can he make the move sick? It looks like he can't. And in the background there you can see Ollie looks to the inside here. Grandad Steve looks like Ollie Marr has made the position and is up into P8. Fantastic stuff there. Can Steve fight back? And in the meantime, in the foreground there you can see Richie having a look up the inside there of Bruce. but it looks like he's had to back out of that one. Still as you were, Bruce goes a little bit wide there. Richie's going to hug the curb on the inside, go for a late apex, and looks like for the time being though, Bruce holds on, and Ollie also up a position there ahead of Grandad Steve.
Just going back on what you were saying about the whole, braking mechanism using it as a guidance system. Coming off of that straight, just after sector one. During my race, that's exactly what I was doing. When it comes to the end of that big straight, I had to put the brakes on full, and I was using that to help me turn. And my back end would slide out, but it would just be enough to help me glide round. So that's just exactly what you have to do with these cars.
Yeah, it's definitely the best way to get yourself around those tighter corners. You've got to have the brake bias set correctly. You need to mess around with it and get it to your liking, but once you got that sorted, you're pretty much set in these GTE cars. There's not a whole lot you have to do to them, especially in the Corvette as well. We're both talking about the same car, myself and Emo Guy, both Chevy drivers here. I don't actually race in the GTEs, I'm the coordinator, so I commentate on both of our tiers. But Emo Guy racing in the tier 2s earlier this evening, and had a wealth of experience from tonight's race, which he was able to communicate over the on-track action here. As we see, it looks like we've got Bernard Steve having a look to the inside. Ollie also shaping up a move on Richie, but he can't make it happen at the moment. But we're approaching the dying moments here of this feature race. It looks like JR now all over the back of Smithy. He's got one lap to make this happen here. Looks like our race leader Archer has started the final lap of the race here for Motive Racing's GTE Championship. Round 3 here. JR doing his fastest lap of the race so far. It's now or never time here.
Yeah, that was just a spectacular, spectacular position take from Archer. Going back from whatever position he came out in the pits all the way to manage to get an 18-second gap between him and second place. That's exactly the kind of expectation you would have from these boys in tier 1.
It is indeed. It's looking like we've got even more battling going on here. We've got JR looking to the inside, trying to find a way through ahead of JR, but JR trying to get by Smithy, but Smithy having absolutely none of it here and just closing the door on him, giving him no wriggle room and no space to work the space here. JR down on his personal best sector time, so it looks like he's well and truly run out of ideas in terms of getting past Smithy here down the end of the back straight. This has got to be his last opportunity, and it looks like Smithy has got it done. So unless he makes some kind of mistake in this final sector, it looks like he should have P2 ahead of JR. Where's our race leader Archer? Must be coming through the final couple of corners now. Here he is into the third to last corner, and it's been a perfect feature race here for Archer. Made his way back through the pack, had to start at the back due to the rules for qualifying for these races, and he hasn't put a foot wrong here. Archer, our Georgian and championship leader here for Motor Racing's GTEs, takes the feature race win at Dubai for round 3. Phenomenal driving here, and it looks like JR still hassling Smithy as they come through the final few corners now. Can he make a move on him? Looks like Smithy's defending it with everything he's got. JR pulls to the left hand side here, coming into the last turn. He's going to make a move on the inside. He is, and they go side by side here. It looks like a little bit of contact there as they come out of the last turn. It looks like Smithy is going to just about hold on here. What a fantastic race between those boys. JR takes it by virtue of Smithy's penalty at the end there. But great racing from those boys. Dalavan over the line in 4th. We've got Falguest completing the top 5. A long gap back to Bruce, AFC, who's going to come around in 6th. Then we've got Richie and Ollie here in 8th position. Looks like he's going to hold off Grandad Steve into the last turn. Peanut a couple of seconds behind these guys. Looks like Steve almost spins it out of the last turn. Ayartel, otherwise known as Peanut himself, completes the top 10. We've got John Boy in 11th. Ugbar, oh, it's John Boy spins it. John Boy spins it. Yellow flag. Ugbar manages to avoid it. But, yeah, so John Boy's 11th. Ugbar is going to come around in 12th position. And my dad Peanut, after taking pole position and leading a lot of this race, unfortunately, it's going to come home in 13th. A lap down He's not going to bring it home to complete the full race distance, but he will be classified for the race. Well done to him for sticking with it. Emo guy, what a race.
Oh yeah, what a spectacular sight. You know, this is exactly like I said before, it's exactly what you expect from these guys. It's just a spectacular show. They do this every single week. It's just what it's just exactly what you sit down to watch.
It is indeed, and we've seen some fantastic racing this evening. Lots of battles throughout the field. And guys, if you want to get involved here at Motive Racing and you want to join the action, then be sure to go to our Discord link in the comments section, the live comments section on the right hand side on your PC and below the video. If you're on the phone, be sure to hit that sub, like and bell button on YouTube as well, as it really helps our channel out a lot. I've been Andy. Let's see if we can get JR and Smithy into the commentary box if possible. I don't know if these guys are going to be up for an interview here. Let's see if they're around, if they can grab a quick word with those boys. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to see if we can grab a quick interview with these guys. Finished in second and third. We know Archel doesn't do interviews. That's fair enough. It's up to him. There's no drivers forced to join us here in the commentary box post race, but it's always nice to grab a chat with them and see what they thought of the race as it went on. But Archel taking the victory, JR second, Smithy completing the podium, and Emago, I'm going to let you go through the rest of the results while we wait for these guys to join us.
Well, in fourth place we had Dalavan, spectacular sight from him tonight. Falgues finishes the top in fifth, Richie in sixth, Bruce seventh, Olimar eighth, Intel ninth, Grandad Steve in 10th, and Akbar in 11th, John Boy in 12th, and my dad Peanut tops us off in 13th.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Ema guy. So that is it for the order. It doesn't look like these guys are going to be joining us in the commentary box. Shame about that. It looks like they're unable to get just here. It looks like they're caught up in a meeting at Parc Ferme, so we'll have to leave that one for the time being. I want to say a big thank you to everybody for sticking with us on the YouTube channel, and for all the guys out on track for staying with the race. I've been Andy, and a big thank you also to you, Ema guy, for joining me in the box. Thank you very much. We will see you guys tomorrow evening for the Clio Cup, live from 7 PM BST, that's British Summertime. Tier 2 starting at 7, Tier 1 at 8. Make sure you tune in and become part of the action on Discord. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and good night.